The relationship between freedom of speech and an equality-pursuing society is a complex and multifaceted issue. On one hand, freedom of speech is a fundamental human right essential for the functioning of a democratic society. On the other hand, the pursuit of equality often requires addressing and mitigating speech that perpetuates discrimination, inequality, and harm. This balancing act presents both advantages and disadvantages, with various perspectives highlighting the tensions and synergies between these two important societal goals. From the perspective of those who prioritize freedom of speech, several compelling arguments underscore its importance in an equality-pursuing society. Freedom of speech is vital for democracy. It allows for open debate, dissent, and the exchange of ideas which are essential for the functioning of a healthy democracy. In an equality-pursuing society, open dialogue can help identify and address inequalities by allowing marginalized voices to be heard. Unfettered speech can lead to social progress by challenging outdated norms and sparking innovative solutions to social problems. History has shown that many movements for equality, such as civil rights, women's rights, and LGBTQ rights, relied on the ability to speak freely and challenge the status quo. A society that values free speech protects minority opinions even if they are unpopular. This protection is crucial in preventing the tyranny of the majority and ensuring that all perspectives, including those advocating for greater equality, can be expressed and considered. Freedom of speech is fundamental to personal autonomy and self-expression. In an equality-pursuing society, individuals must have the right to express their identities, beliefs, and opinions without fear of censorship or retribution. However, there are significant challenges and potential drawbacks to maintaining absolute freedom of speech in the context of pursuing equality. Unrestricted speech can perpetuate harmful stereotypes and reinforce systemic inequalities. Hate speech, discriminatory language, and misinformation can create a hostile environment for marginalized groups, undermining efforts to achieve equality. Freedom of speech can sometimes lead to social fragmentation if it allows for the spread of divisive or extremist views. In an equality-pursuing society, maintaining social cohesion and mutual respect is essential, and unchecked speech can threaten these values. The right to free speech must be balanced against other fundamental rights, such as the right to dignity and freedom from discrimination. In some cases, speech that is harmful or discriminatory may need to be restricted to protect the rights and well-being of vulnerable individuals and communities. Speech that incites violence or hatred can pose a direct threat to public safety. In an equality-pursuing society, it is crucial to prevent speech that could lead to violence against marginalized groups or social unrest. From the perspective of those advocating for more regulated speech to promote equality, several benefits can be highlighted. Regulating speech can help reduce harm to individuals and communities by curbing hate speech, discriminatory language, and misinformation. This can create a safer and more inclusive environment for all members of society. By setting boundaries on acceptable speech, society can promote values of respect, tolerance, and mutual understanding. This is particularly important in diverse societies where different groups must coexist peacefully. Regulating speech that perpetuates inequality can help advance social justice by challenging discriminatory practices and attitudes. This can lead to more equitable outcomes for marginalized groups. Limits on certain types of harmful speech can enhance public discourse by fostering more constructive and respectful conversations. This can create a more positive and productive environment for discussing social issues and working towards solutions. However, there are also significant drawbacks and risks associated with regulating speech in the pursuit of equality. Once restrictions on speech are introduced, there is a risk of a slippery slope where increasing amounts of speech are censored. This can lead to the erosion of fundamental freedoms and the stifling of legitimate dissent and debate. Regulating speech often requires government intervention, which can lead to overreach and abuse of power. Governments may use speech regulations to suppress political opposition or unpopular viewpoints, undermining democratic principles. The fear of punishment or retribution for expressing controversial or unpopular opinions can create a chilling effect where individuals self-censor and refrain from speaking out. This can stifle creativity, innovation, and the open exchange of ideas. Defining what constitutes harmful or unacceptable speech can be highly subjective and contentious. Different groups may have varying opinions on what should be restricted, leading to conflicts and inconsistencies in enforcement. In conclusion, the relationship between freedom of speech and an equality-pursuing society is inherently complex and requires a delicate balance. On one hand, protecting freedom of speech is essential for democracy, progress, and personal autonomy. On the other hand, regulating speech can help reduce harm, promote respect, and advance social justice. Each position has its own set of pros and cons, and finding the right balance involves ongoing dialogue, careful consideration of the specific context, and a commitment to upholding fundamental rights while striving for a more equitable and inclusive society. The challenge lies in ensuring that freedom of speech and the pursuit of equality coexist in a manner that respects individual rights and fosters a just and harmonious society.